Isaac Hayes hung up on Baby, 1974. The best to ever use this song as a sample was the Ghetto Boys. Mine's Playing Tricks on Me, 1991. Was the best hit from the group. That's definitely the case. We talk about this sample by Isaac Hayes, man, with the Tough Guys soundtrack. These the guys, the Bell Boys, Lil D, Bushwick Bill, Scarface did it the best. They did it justice because at that time when I remember it, I was in grammar school, so I was like seventh grade. Yeah, seventh grade in '91, going to '92. So that's my seventh grade year. Because I graduated 1993, school 13. So 92, 93, that was my eighth grade year. Last year in grammar school. So I went in high school in '93, '94. But 91, '92, man, that song was definitely different, man. The sound of it, man. Especially them coming from the South. I mean, that was just something different. Hung up on my baby, Isaac Hayes. You know, the cinematic, haunting, deeply emotional backbone for the Ghetto Boys classic Mind Playing Tricks on Me. Haunting atmosphere, the rich orchestration, the moody guitar interplay, the soul arrangement created a spooky, reflective vibe. And then you got the emotional depth. Instead of the standard party boastful energy, you had the lush groove matches the lyrics about vulnerability, stress, and paranoia. So the patient strong structure, as the case, rich 1970s black conversation of the film background, it gave rap artists a massive little canvas to build upon. And nobody did it better than Ghetto Boys, as far as using the sample. You know, that they did it justice. They jumped on it first. That's why I'm interested to see who sampled this first. It had to be the Ghetto Boys, whoever produced this song for the Ghetto Boys. It's the emotional sonic backbone, the Tough Guy soundtrack. One of the great songs ever made was birthed because of this song. The instrumental Hung Up on My Baby. It was an instrumental. Isaac Hayes didn't say nothing on it. He didn't sing on this song. It was just a simple instrumental. The haunting contrast of melancholy groove. The original track featured a layered, slow burning composition that blended a soulful, rhythmic bass line with highly expressive orchestration. The genius of the same lies in how it balanced a warm, hypnotic groove with a deeply melancholic, wandering guitar riff, weeping strings, and hip hop. This duality allowed it to produce the loop of rhythm, keeps his listener nodding their heads while simultaneously evoking a somber, reflective atmosphere. When you look at the perfect blueprint for storytelling, unlike the frantic up-tempo funk breaks common in late 80s hip hop, Hung Up on My Baby provided an open, spacious landscape. The arrangement left plenty of sonic room for an MC to rap. So when the Ghetto Boys split the track, the inherent sadness, tension of the Hayes composition perfectly matched their vivid, vulnerable lyrics about post-traumatic stress disorder, paranoia, street isolation, psychological survival. It effectively shifted the tone of gangster rap from aggressive bravado to haunting realism. Third is a complete compositional loop. Many hip-hop samples rely on catching a single drum hit or a 2-second vocal stab. So Hung Up on My Baby, in contrast, offered a rich multi-bar loop where the bass, the keys, the guitar interact seamlessly. When isolated by a sampler, the loop feels like a continuous cyclical journey, a musical loop that mirrored the inescapable cyclical thoughts of paranoia described in the lyrics. So there's something about that song that led to Mind Playing Tricks on Me. So let's get into how many times the song was used as a sample. Okay, 51 times. But who did it first? Wow, I see second to none. If You Want It, they used it first. Used it the same year as the Ghetto Boys. Mind Playing Tricks on Me. I mean, I don't think it did better than the Ghetto Boys, though. Nobody was using that sample like that. I don't think, let's see, anybody was using this in the 80s? It's a good question. Let's see. Don't see nothing. No, 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 no. So it's a tie. Ghetto Boys, Playing Tricks on Me, second to none. If You Want It, second to none. That came out in '91. Mind's Playing Tricks on Me, Ghetto Boys, that came out in 1991. But I gotta give Ghetto Boys the nod. They get the nod. They're the best at doing this. They were the best at making the song what it was. Um, Not just that, the drums was outstanding for Miles playing tricks on me. The drum break was just as good. Let's look into that. Yeah, if you want it, yeah, that was made by Second to None. But I don't think they did better than this. Okay, Tough City Squad Notorious. So they used the drums for this. Okay. Thought the jam, they might use the jam for this. Is that true? Was the drums? I guess it was. Yeah, it had to come from them. That's the same Tough City Squad Notorious was the drums that were used on this record by Ghetto Boys. It was produced by Scarface. Scarface produced this song, My Clean Tricks on Me. Alright, so that's it, man. Done. Be back in a few minutes. Almost close to the end, man. This is what, 148? So, we're going to come back with number 149 at 3:45 p.m. Then come back the conclusion of this series, the other 50 greatest hip hop samples and hip hop history, volume 3, 150 at 4 o'clock. That'll be it for that book that I wrote, self-published a decade ago. Those who haven't seen it, this is how it looks right here. It's a book that I did. So talk to you soon.